looking for some high growth stocks which could double from here in this stock market crash 2025, I have found some underrated stocks for you guys. Huge potential which the investors are overlooking. So let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel once again. This is your friend Abhishek, but not a financial advisor, and today we are going to talk about two of those high growth stocks which I am buying right now and one stock which I am actually selling. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first high growth stock which could actually double from here, considering this market crash in 2025, is none other than Micron Technologies. Yes, now why I'm picking up Micron Technologies right now? Because of its earnings, and despite of a decent earnings, I would say it was a mixed earnings. It is down by 7.5%, almost 8% at the time of recording this video. So let's quickly go through what happened with Micron, okay? So Micron's gross margins were 37.9%, which was down from 38.4%. One of the reasons why the stock is down by 7 to 8% because the margin shrank. Now the forecast is another reason. The forecast for the current period is roughly around 36.5%. So the CEO and the company is expecting for the margins to shrink further. Now there's a reason, and we will get on to the reason. So the metric was likely hit by pricing of the NAND flash memory products, yes, which may improve later in this year. This is what the CEO said. And the problem is that there has been a challenge in the NAND industry. So the Vice President, Sumit Sadana, said, as the industry environment improves, particularly in NAND, you will see a much better trajectory from us. So this is one of the reasons why I'm picking up Micron Technologies, because this is just a temporary headwind because of the current macroeconomic situation, and of course the uncertainty which is coming from tariffs. The stocks, even if they miss a slight target, they are getting hammered. Okay, they are getting literally hammered. So like I said, margins were the main attention for the sell-off and investors. Now, first third quarter revenue will be about $8.8 billion. This is what the projection says. That compares with an average analyst estimates of $8.55 billion. Profit will be around $1.57 per share, excluding certain items, compared with 1.48 analysts expected on average. So they probably will beat the earnings estimates as well in the first quarter. Now, some of the bullish signals which came from Micron's earnings are Micron is seeing strong demand for components using in data center, machines that develop and run artificial intelligence software. Now, second quarter sales climbed by over 38%. Yes, guys. Earnings grew by $1.56, again topping estimates of $1.43. Now, this is big. Data center revenue tripled 3 times in a year. 3 times, yes. And this was a record revenue. Just to summarize these positive points, Micron Technology achieved record revenues in data center DRAM. This is one of the most bullish points. So they achieved the record revenue in DRAM, with HBM revenue growing more than 50%. The company remains the only one and only globally to ship low power DRAM into data centers. So we saw that data center revenue is record high. Micron's 1 beta DRAM technology lead the industry, and the launch of 1 gamma node has shown significant improvements. The company is of course making more investments in the AI data centers and AI driven growth opportunities like data centers, and of course HBM capacity has been increasing, and Micron's HBM3E delivers a 30% power reduction compared to competitors. This is huge. Trust me, when the data center quantities will increase, this is what is going to count. Consumers will be going on for such preferences and alternatives. Now, some negative points why the stock is falling. Fiscal Q2 revenue was down 8% sequentially, and the gross margins decreased. Like I said, margins were the main focus. NAND revenue decreased by 70% sequentially. Like I said, this is a temporary headwind in my personal opinion. The company faces challenges with NAND underutilization, which continues to weigh on the gross margin. So this is what we have to understand, that NAND being one of the driving factors for Micron Technologies is being hitting their revenue. So operating expenses are projected to increase by over 10% in the fiscal year 2025 to support high value products, and of course this will affect their profitability as well. Micro's inventory has been increasing as well. This is again another negative point in my opinion, which will eventually be okay when the price factor comes into play. Now, why I'm saying that Micron could double from here? Well, so according to the growth rate, it seems like the earnings per estimate for 2029 could be around $10, and currently the P ratio for Micron Technologies is 30, And I do believe that in the coming 5 years, it could still trade at a PE ratio of 30, the forward PE ratio of 30, because a company which is growing its earnings by 30 to 40%, 30 PE is not that bad. Revenue increasing by 70 to 80%, it's not that bad at all. With a 30 PE, a forward PE, and earnings per estimate of $10, $300 could be the achievable price target for Micron Technologies, and that's why I do think that this could double, even triple from here in the coming 5 years. So considering these risk factors, and if I have to put a bet with such a big upside potential and with a downfall of maybe 20-30%, that's the max it should go up, about like around $70 max. That could be the max pain for us. So I do think that there is a big asymmetrical benefit with Micron Technology. So that is our first stock. Now let's jump on to our second high growth best stock to buy in 2025. So the second future multi-bagger stock, in my opinion, with really high growth potential is none other than Sofi. Yes. Now Sofi, why I do think Sofi is a multi-bagger is because, first of all, Sofi has successfully transformed being just a student loan provider, from being just a student loan provider into a comprehensive financial services. Sofi has integrated lending, banking, the infrastructure is super amazing. The company has built such an amazing ecosystem across their multiple products and to scale to a next level. Because what Sofi is doing, Sofi is becoming a one-stop financial service provider. Now let's quickly just summarize the company's financial performances, because that has been super impressive. So the growth and improving profitability, first of all, with revenue increasing from $565 million in 2020 to $2.64 billion in a span of 4 years, representing a 70% CAGR. Yes, that's amazing. Sofi has achieved GAAP profitability with $499 million in net income for 2024 and expanded adjusted EBITDA margins to 26%, guys, 26%. Yes. Loan originations reached $23.3 billion in 2024, driven by personal loans and revived student loan refinancing, while the growing deposit base enhances margins. So Sofi early was considered a really bearish stock because the investors and the analysts were just focusing that this is just the most of the revenue is coming from the student loans. But now, since they have expanded so nicely, and the tech, especially the tech part of the financial services platform, is doing so amazingly well, and this has just begun. I do believe that in the coming 4 to 5 years, this would be massive. Now, Sofi's growth trajectory continues with expansion opportunities in banking, technologies, segments, and new product offerings. So now let me explain why Sofi could really double or even triple from here. So the global payment industry, mobile payment industry, is undergoing significant transformation, with the market size expected to expand from $2.66 trillion in 2024 to USD $10.4 trillion by 2033, reflecting an estimated CAGR of 16.4%. Now, of course, there are other players like PayPal and New Holdings in Brazil and many other fintech businesses as well, and those are actually also a part of my portfolio and my Patreons community. By the way, if you guys would like to join our Patreons community, you could find the link in the description below. We have an amazing community, and we are not so many people, but the people which we have in our Patreons community, they are really cooperative, and we have a really good environment over there. Okay, so feel free to join. But anyways, the rapid growth is attributed to increased smartphone penetration, supportive government policies, technological advancements, and a shift in consumer preferences towards digital transactions. So this is an important chunk. If we know that the TAM, a total addressable market for a particular type of segment, is increasing, and with a compound annual growth of over 10%, then we do know that a company which has not even acquired 5 to 10% of that industry has a really big opportunity and can scale to the next level with all its amazing segments. Yeah, and this is why I do believe Sofi has a really big opportunity. Now let's get on to a quick and dirty valuation model for Sofi Technology to know that if this is the best high growth stock to buy in 2025 or not, which of course it is. So let's cover the valuation quickly. So the earnings estimate according to 20 to 30%. So what the CEO said is that the earnings estimate for 2025 would be somewhere around $0.5 to 60 cents, and with that 20 to 30% growth, if we fast forward it to 2029, then I do believe that they could reach earnings estimate of over $1. The current P ratio for Sofi is 28. I do believe for a company which is growing at a pace of 70% CAGR, yeah, and of course it might slow down a bit, but still 50 to 60% annual growth rate is not a joke, guys. So 30 PE is, I would say, conservative, super conservative. But let's say if the tariffs uncertainty, which I do believe that will pass on soon, or maybe it might take 1 year or so, but as soon as the bull market starts, SoFi could trade above 30. But let's be conservative and take 30 PE ratio. And if we say that, okay, SoFi could reach $1, then the price, which I believe would be $30 in the coming 5 years. So of course, SoFi could easily double from here. And that's why I have considered SoFi as one of the best underrated growth stocks and a multi-bagger for stock market 2025 for all the investors. Now, the last stock which I said, which I'm not buying anymore, but actually I'm selling off some of my position, is Nike. Now, Nike earnings were not that impressive, to be honest. Now, I will not dig deeper into the Nike earnings. If you guys would like to know more about Nike and my personal opinion and valuation model for Nike, and to talk about the earnings and my personal take on Nike's earnings, then please leave a comment in the comment section down below and I'll make a video on that, a detailed video. But for now, like I said, I'm selling Nike because the outlook is not that great as well. Now, it has been 2 years since the new CEO joined, and we are still waiting for that turnaround which the CEO promised, and I don't see that. I did give Nike a chance. I did buy at $70, and but now after these earnings, I am not buying anymore, and I'm planning to book some losses from Nike, and yeah, to invest into some of the opportunities which I covered in the first part of the video, the two growth stocks, Sofi and Micron Technologies. So rather to book some 15 to 20% loss from Nike and put into those stocks which I can of course easily recover that loss. So I do believe that these stocks might do much better than Nike. This is what I'm doing right now, moving the money or shuffling the money from some of the growth stocks to some higher growth stocks which could be underrated right now, and the investors are simply ignoring them, or the investors are afraid due to uncertainty in the economy. So that's it, guys. That's all for this video. I hope you like this video, and if you did like, please leave a like. It just takes 2 seconds, but it really helps the channel, and I do believe that you guys will definitely use the comment section to let me know your personal opinion. What do you think about these stocks, and what is your personal take on Nike, Micron Technologies, and SoFi Technologies? So I'll wait for your feedback, and until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep investing. Ciao.